Next up, we have Gaelic Conclusion from the Move or Die soundtrack. Once again, everybody, this is a Basterd's LFA, a layman-friendly analysis. I'm a professionally trained musician and composer, and my objective here is to explain things in a way so that you don't have to be one to understand what is happening here, musically. So, if you like the sound of that, make sure you're following the channel, subscribe to the channel, whatever you need to use, like the video, share, comment, turn on notifications, become a member. Once again, everybody, don't forget to join the Discord server, join the Patreon, subscribe to the gaming channel, subscribe to the Reacts channel, how to request songs if you're not on the live stream members, getting early access to the content, I have a spiel for this and a bunch of other things on this video, so stick around for that. Disclaimers showing on your screen right now, so go ahead and pause the video to read them in full. Otherwise, please be patient with me. I am acoustic and guitarded, so please keep that in mind. With that, let's do this. Gaelic Conclusion. Let's go. Okay. So we are starting with, of course, Gaelic instruments, which in academic terms, we call these world music instruments. No, right? We take Asgard with this. I mean, it's Gaelic, right? So it's probably a little bit different. So you don't take Asgard with them. So some of these instruments are going to be considered world music. We have the percussion over here, and it looks like the composer here tried to make it as authentic as possible. So whenever you're talking about folk instruments, Eastern instruments, African instruments, most of these more native folk, traditional instruments that fall outside of the Western standard, we call those world music, because it's music from around the world. It sounds better to call it world than foreign, so yes, it's more polite to call it world music than foreign music, so yeah, we use the term world music for this. We are using what sounds to be a pin whistle, over here, or just a recorder, right? A recorder flute. Depending on where you go, you can use these. We're using maybe some pipes, maybe a bagpipe or a pin pipe. I think we can have a pin pipe. Was it a pin pipe? Was it called it's a pipe. It's one of the pipes similar to a bagpipe, but instead of having the bag, it's just the pipe itself, right? So it's like the bagpipe without the pipe. I forget the name right now. It could be a pin pipe. It has a name, and I can't remember it. The world music are not my thing, but we have several things going on. One, we have the drums giving us the drum beat. We have the secondary flute, a little bit lower, giving us the accompaniments, basically playing a little bit of the chords. I'm not entirely sure if it's arpeggiating or not, but the melody on top definitely is. We get this beautiful melody from what sounds to be a recorder flute, giving us our initial motif. Motif being the smallest version of a musical idea, the seed, the essence from which everything else comes from. And of course, this one is some arpeggios, right? An arpeggio being when you play a chord one note at a time. For example, here's C minor. Here's arpeggiated. And we're doing basically like we're doing this to a rhythm of this kind of stuff. So we're having this, it's a pin whistle. The pin whistle instrument, because it looks like there's another one. So yeah, the pin whistle, it kind of looks like a metal recorder or like a wooden recorder, because like, the recorder flute, quarter flute. It's basically the one that anybody can use, the one most people will recognize from like their school days, right? This used to once be an instrument along the lines of prestige as the transversal flute, but then somebody realized that you can actually teach children with this. Like, you can make them out of very cheap plastic, very easy to make, very durable, so they are child friendly and therefore can be useful for teaching children. And there's the academics that will never concede the idea that if a child can do it, it is therefore a good thing. So yeah, they kind of decided to take the prestige off of that, but that's on them, right? Let's see where this goes. Okay, so we repeat the motif, and now we have some violins in the background. We introduce some orchestral percussion on top of the traditional percussion, and now we have the violins giving us a secondary melody, engaging in a little bit of counterpoint. Counterpoint being the study, the art of melodies. How they are, how they develop, how they interact with one another, usually in the context of having two or more playing at the same time. And yeah, we're having the other, it's one of the precursors of the oboe. It's another folk instrument. It predates the oboe. It sounds a lot like the oboe, and it kind of sounds like a hurdy-gurdy at the same time. But that's the second woodwind what we have over here. Let's see where it goes. There we go, and there we go. In the following repetition, we bring in more percussion, more aggressive, we bring in a bass, and we replace the pen whistle with a hurdy-gurdy. The hurdy-gurdy being this very incredible medieval instrument, very popular in Gaulish areas, in Gaelic music, very, very, very cool. The shawm, let's see. Yep, the shawm. Yep, this is it. This is it. It's basically a wooden trumpet. It is basically a wooden version of the trumpet, like combines the concept of the trumpet and the flute. And yep, there you go. This is it. This is it. Very, very synonymous with the medieval period. Very, very, very common. Like usually you see them in depictions like this. There you go. Thank you. Thank you. And yes, Light Magician. Yes, it is. So yeah, we're having a hurdy-gurdy, which it is very impressive. The hurdy-gurdy is one of these instruments that really prove just the ingenious of mankind. Look at how complex this thing is mechanically. It is insane how much goes into a hurdy-gurdy. And this is one of those instruments that is, for some reason, not part of the Western standard. I mean, I can see why. It's a very expensive instrument. Like, one of these costs like $3,000 to €3,000 to make, right? Like, these are handcrafted. They're not very easy to mass produce. They require a lot of maintenance. But, God, the sound they make is incredible. So, yeah, we're having that over here. Let's, very complex mechanism. Like, the mechanism itself looks a lot, it's a lot more complex to build than it is to play. Because to play the instrument, you have two main parts. You have the crank, and then you have the keyboard. The keyboard plays like any other keyboard, and then you just rotate the crank, and the crank rotates this over here, which is basically your bow, and then you have it, and then that's that. That's what causes them to do that? Because then it doesn't show up on the video. Some people are messing around with that because they realize that if you put that that it doesn't show up on the screenshot. That's it. Anyway, so we're having this. We are reiterating the motif. Let's hear it goes. It's our. Oh my god, I just realized. And yes, in the background, the bass that we introduced turned out to be an electronic bass. With electronic drums, we turned this into EDM. Which, to be fair, the kind of music that, like, the Gauls were playing back in, like, 100 BC, that was... They were raving. And had they had these instruments, they would have 100% put them like that. So, yeah. We bring in a syncopated bass line, right? Syncopation and the bass line, right? We have the bass there playing in syncopation. Syncopation means that you are playing against your drums, against your beat, or against your metronome. Right now, you can very clearly hear it playing in between the beats. We have that, and let me just hear a bit more. Let me just close these. Let's do this. Okay, so we switch things around and we bring a completely electronic, completely digital, arrangement of this. We bring in the synths all together. We bring this very strong pitch shifted, maybe with like a talk box kind of thing. And we're having now what seems to be an elongation of the motif, right? So elongation is a way you can develop material in which you do a slower version of something you've done before. So in this case, the original motif, now instead of that, and we're just moving the notes a little bit slower than that, and that allows us to give a way different feel for the motif, even though we're doing almost the same thing. Then we bring in a second layer. I think it's a second synth, giving us some counterpoint in a similar way that the violins did at the beginning, basically allowing us to mirror what we've already done, but bringing like the new age, new version of it. Like basically, this is what it would sound like if the Gauls or the Gaelic peoples were around today, right? Like that's probably what they had in mind, but they only had so much that they could work with, right? And you know what else we can work with? The Patreon. Patreon.com/JamesRBasterd. If you want to support this channel more than you already are, consider joining the Patreon today. Even if you're not pledging any funds, do join the free tier at least, because this is where the non-gaming LFAs are going. What are those? Anime, film, TV, label music, the kind of stuff that we usually don't do on the main channel on YouTube. Why? What we do on YouTube is inherently fair use. That does not stop bad actors such as record labels, film studios, independent individual rat scammers out there from abusing the copyright system on YouTube. So, in order to just not deal with that for these LFAs, we're putting them here exclusively on Patreon, free for everyone to watch, with paid members, citizen tier and above, getting early access to the content. So, if you want to support this channel more than you already are, consider joining the Patreon today, consider becoming a paid member today. Patreon.com/JamesRBasterd, linked in the description down below. Thank you to those who are already members, especially those who are paid members, particularly Real Nemesis, French Guy, Amaya, and Quebelco. Your support means the world to me. For everybody else, become a member today, consider becoming a paid member today. Patreon.com/JamesRBasterd, linked in the description down below. Patreon.com/JamesRBasterd. Become a member today. Alright, back we go. And why buy a hurdy-gurdy when you could buy a trombone? Why buy a trombone where you could buy a saxophone? Why buy a saxophone when you can buy a computer? Why buy a computer when you can just buy a time machine? Why buy a time machine if you can just become a luthier? Why become a luthier if you can just buy a hurdy-gurdy? Anyway, let's continue. There we go. On, we have an electronic build-up, and okay, so we drop the beat, we continue the second synth that used to be the counterpoint that now takes over to the main melody, we bring in some trumpets in the background to play the chords to the beat, and now it's just a lot of fun. Now, one of the things that we did introduce over here with the melody is two things. Number one, we introduce a few more passing tones, and number two, we introduce some chromaticism. So, passing tone is just the academic term for when you add tones or notes between notes, right? So, for example, if I play this and then this, and I want to play something in between, I just play the scale. That is a passing tone. Chromaticism is when you borrow from the chromatic scale. The chromatic scale is all 12 tones of Western music. That, for example, in the keyboard, is all white and black keys in the keyboard. So whenever you take that, you have the 12 tones. From there, you can make any kind of scale. For example, if we're in C major, white keys in the keyboard, starting, ending on C. And if I want to engage in chromaticism for whatever objective I might have, I'm going to borrow from the remaining tones that I'm not using, and then that's going to be chromaticism. So instead of just instead of doing something like this, I can add a little bit more. All roads lead to the hurdy-gurdy? Hell yeah, brother. Anyway. You can definitely tell this is 2016. Yes, you can. Let's see where this goes. There's the hurdy-gurdy back as well. Oh, just like that, we switch back to the, oh, it's such a cool change. So we switch back to the sham and to the hurdy-gurdy. They take over, and we're just basically moving the instruments back and forth. It's so cool. Here it goes. keyboard with talk box kind of thing. Makes it sound like vocalization, right? New variation of the motif. Oh, it's so funky. There's the original motif. We bring back the pin whistle with the hurdy-gurdy. So yeah, we are now introducing everything together. So we have the hurdy-gurdy giving us its version. We have the pin whistle back. We bring back the shawm in the background. We bring in the, I think it might be a talk box. So in music, there's this thing called a talk box. I find it completely disgusting to use, but the effect is really cool. It's literally just this kind of pedal with a hose that you then literally just put into your mouth. And then you vocalize. Like the sound goes through your mouth, and then you put that on a microphone. And you know how vocalizations, you can know the sound of ooh, kind of stuff when you move around the mouth. You can have that, and you can add that as an effect to your notes. It's a really cool effect, but you have to put a tube in your you have to like put a tube in your mouth for that. I find that complete, like, look at that, dude. Like, that's gross. that to me is gross. That to me is completely gross. Like you have to damn near swallow that thing. It's like you're in the hospital. You know, you have to, you're putting like what's it called, a ventilator that goes all the way down to your lungs, kind of thing. I find it like. I find the method, the necessary physical interaction with this completely disgusting, but it sounds so cool. And so fun. So yeah, why buy hurdy-gurdy when you can buy gurdy from MSM, because then you would be playing MSM. Why buy hurdy-gurdy when you can buy a cheeseburger? I mean, why buy a cheeseburger when you can just make a cheeseburger? Look, ever since I learned how to cook my own beef, I have not eaten beef that I don't cook. That has been my my one thing, that I don't eat steak that I don't cook. I don't eat burgers that I don't cook. Ever since I learned how to make braised beef, I have not eaten ground beef ever again, because it just doesn't quite hit, dude. It just doesn't quite hit. There's something about the braised beef being in a burger instead of the cheeseburger. It's just Anyway, one day we might do some like an all-day cooking stream and do like a braised beef kind of thing, because that thing does take a full day to make. Anyway, back to what we're doing. We're having the folk instruments, the world music instruments with the electronic drums. We're basically mixing everything. Let's see where it goes. Back to the chromatic systems there. The second synth from the build-up. The cooking stream. Oh yeah, we do cooking streams every once in a while. This week, not so much, because, oh yeah, I'm finally getting an editor. Turns out it's gonna be a Mayer. He gave me a good deal. We're gonna see how it goes. Like, I'm training him this weekend, because, yeah, no, yesterday in the Jam and Shred, we had a very embarrassing story. We had a very embarrassing moment. I'm going to tell it because a bunch of y'all missed it. There's this thing in Hungary, right, where if a holiday falls on a Tuesday or Thursday, instead of just giving you Friday off or making you work on Friday, they make you work on a separate Saturday on that same month, and then you can take that day off. So next week, from the time recording, is Saint Istvan Day, Saint Stephen Day, the State Foundation Day in Hungary, which falls on Thursday. So in order for us to get Friday off, I had to work last Saturday. And I'm somebody with a very rigid schedule. You do this to me and it's going to throw everything off. And I usually schedule things on Saturday. And by working, I forgot to schedule the videos, half the videos for the channel. Because I scheduled those on Saturday. I was so busy at work that I completely forgot. And yesterday during the Jam and Shred, like, somebody brought it up. I was like, oh my god, where are the Jam and Shreds? Then I realized. So yeah, I finally pulled the trigger, and I'm training the new editor this weekend. So yeah, Yeah, now y'all are caught up with my fumble that led me to yes. Can you cook a hurdy-gurdy on stream? I mean, I could, but I would rather not. Anyway, let's see where this goes. Man. So yeah, this is definitely not a talk box. Like, these are effects you can make on the editing software, like the audio software. I just don't know how to make this because it goes more on the audio design side of things. But can we have a hurdy-gurdy jamming shirt? I would need to be able to afford a hurdy-gurdy and then learn how to play a damn hurdy-gurdy. I would love to do that, but I already have a morning hood and I need to, pick that back up, right? So let's see where it goes. Nice. Alright, building it up a little bit more, and back to the elongated version of the motif. Okay, and now this time we're just doing basically full-on EDM, like almost house music. We have now, along with the bass, we have the chord synth syncopating the chords, full-on electronic. We do have some of the some of the trumpets a little bit in the background to add a little bit of extra, a couple of extra layers to this. So it is still there, but by now we're just making sure that the funnier music stays, because this main lead synth, it sounds silly. Like, that's kind of the point. It's a silly, it looks like a silly kind of game that you're going to be silly in, so having a soundtrack that includes these kinds of silly elements to this, it's going to really make it fun. Let's see where this goes. Really good, though. There's the original. Okay, original comes back, pin whistle, original with the hurdy-gurdy comes back, pin whistle does a little bit of an improvised counter melody over there, and now joins the hurdy-gurdy. Do you throw it in the die? Yes. Nice, and... Oh, that was a strong ending. Okay, so we do an ending. We bring one last phrasing of the elongation of the motif over here. Couple more hits of the percussion. Tan, and we're done. That was a lot of fun, dude. Oh my god, there you have it. Gaelic conclusion from the Move or Die soundtrack. This is what I love about doing this. We never know when we're gonna see this kind of absolute bangers. That was so good. that was good and fun. Like, there's just something about music that is intended to be fun that it just allows the composer to just really, like, RV there, like, it's giving me RV Theriot vibes. Yeah, like, we haven't played the game yet, but we have covered some of the music, and not a single boring second of this whole thing, and not once did it get overwhelming. That is a very, very difficult balance to achieve for some of these stuff. So there you have it. There you have it. You got a McDonald's ad. Well, maybe they're trying to tell you something. There you go. There you go. Gaelic conclusion. Once again, everybody, this has been a Basterd's LFA, a layman-friendly analysis. I'm a professionally trained musician, a composer, and my objective here has been to explain things in a way so that you don't have to be one to understand what's happened here musically. So, if you're watching this on the YouTube video archive thing, thank you for watching. Make sure you're following the channel, subscribe to the channel, whatever you use, like the video, share, comment, turn on notifications, become a member. Once again, everybody, don't forget to join the Discord server. That's where everything gets announced first, whether it's the streams going live, the videos going up the channels, updates, projects, giveaways, everything gets announced there first. We have the community there, we hang out, we chat, we steal memes from other people's servers, can announce their own, where I host the Vintage Story community server, that kind of stuff. Also share these videos with everybody that you know. Use the hype function on YouTube. We have a group on the Discord, coordinates for that, so linked in the description. Help the channel grow. Members get early access to the content as scheduled. The videos per week on Saturdays, and if you're a paid member on YouTube, regardless of your tier, you get access to the videos when I schedule them, at least for the LFAs. So become a member today. If you want to listen to this without me interrupting you to 3.5 seconds, I'll link in the description down below. If you want to request a song and you're not on the live stream, check the pin comment on this video that has the instructions of what to do. If you want to catch the streams when they happen live, we aim for Monday through Friday. We stream live on Twitch, YouTube, and Kick so that you can tune in from whichever platform you prefer. We have the full up-to-date streaming schedule showing in your local time zone in both Discord and Twitch, both linked in the description. So, If you live in La Campana, the bell, and you're like, yeah, what time is whatever time it is in Hungary? I don't live there. Do not worry. Just go to Discord or Twitch, both linked in the description, and it's going to show the streaming schedule up to date in your local time zone, accounting for daylight savings if necessary. And subscribe to the gaming channel. Follow the gaming channel, because of course I have a gaming channel. I'm on YouTube. What else could I possibly have? Games are Basterd. It's all about the gaming after show recordings when they happen. We play games on the later part of the stream, and then the VODs for every game we play live eventually end up over here. So subscribe to the channel, linked in the description, or search on YouTube, same username as James R. Basterd, swap the J for a G, and you got it. And subscribe to the Reacts channel. LFA is our React format. This is where we are putting the reacts for everything else. James Reacts Basterd. Subscribe to the channel, linked in the description, or search on YouTube, same username as James R. Basterd. Extend the R to Reacts, and you got it. And yeah. There you have it. Gaelic conclusion, move or die. That was really fun, dude. I really enjoyed it. Good stuff, man. Good stuff. But yeah, let's move on.